right, what's going on, guys? Looking at an article from Screen Rant today, and this one is just—it's not like crazy big Mandalorian news, but we had like different fan expos and conventions that have happened, and recently at one, Moff Gideon actor says his favorite Mandalorian co-star is Gina Carano. This is Giancarlo Esposito. So the Mandalorian star Giancarlo Esposito gives an honest answer to the question of who his favorite co-star is and names Gina Carano. So I just wanted to read through and see what he had to say. Esposito and Carano make up two different sides of the Mandalorian, with Esposito portraying the villainous Moff Gideon and Carano playing a reluctant hero Cara Dune. Both have had pivotal roles in the show's first two seasons, but while Esposito is definitely set to return for the Mandalorian season 3, Carano's time in the galaxy far, far away was cut short earlier this year. Carano had come under fire for controversial social media posts. The conservative actress was against masks in the face of the coronavirus pandemic and also made statements that were deemed to be transphobic and anti-Semitic. As the online outcry against her grew, Lucasfilm fired Carano from The Mandalorian and any potential spin-offs she was set to appear in. So Cara Dune will be retired instead of recast, and it remains to be seen if The Mandalorian will acknowledge her in the future. Interesting. Wow. Okay, that answers another question I was going to bring up in this video, but there you go. So for her part, Carano has moved on to other projects, and there have been fans who criticized the decisions to let her go, even as others celebrated it. Lucasfilm cutting Gina Carano was the right decision. So politics aside, there's one Mandalorian star who is proudly showing his affection for Carano. Speaking at Fan Expo Denver, and I'm so mad that I missed that, man, because I live in Denver. It's my hometown, and I know this was going on during the time of Halloween. I just didn't, I didn't plan on going, to this event this year. I seen that Giancarlo Esposito and I think also Ming Na Wen. I think she was there as well, and I was just so jealous. I was like, man, I seen other friends that were there. It's just, yeah, I didn't plan for it, this year, but next year, man, next year. So anyway, Esposito answered the question of who he likes working with the most on The Mandalorian by giving his unashamed support to Carano. He avoided commenting on her firing or where they might disagree in their political views, instead just explaining why he liked acting opposite her. Esposito said, I have to say, and this may be okay, I'll say it without hesitation. Gina Carano, I'm not going to weigh in on any of that in particular, other than any of her political beliefs or what she said, whether I think it's inappropriate or appropriate or not. We as actors probably sometimes, I know for me, I should just shut my mouth. But sometimes I can't. I got to say what I believe because it has to go on record. I loved working with her. She's warm and beautiful and wonderful. And, I can't, oh, and, I don't care what her politics are. I love the fact that she came to acting late and that she was so raw and original and beautiful. And I just think she's a lovely person. So I shout her out and say she's one of my favorites. There you go. Esposito joined the Mandalorian's armor actress Emily Swallow, offering public support for Carano following her firing. Like Esposito, Swallow sidestepped the topic of what happened and focused on Carano's personality on set. For those who work on The Mandalorian, this has to be a difficult situation to navigate. And it's understandable that some of them would have still enjoyed working with Carano, even despite having opposing views. Carano seemed to feel the same as after her firing, she insisted she still have love for the Mandalorian lead, Pedro Pascal. That's cool. So regardless, the personal feelings of the cast, filming on The Mandalorian Season 3 has commenced without Carano on board. It would be strange to have a season of the Disney Plus series without Carano's involvement, seeing as she was a major part of the first several episodes. Still, Pascal's Din Djarin is bound to have his hands full with Moff Gideon when the Mandalorian returns. So perhaps her absence won't be felt too strongly. Fans will just have to wait and see for themselves. That being said, and I'm so glad I read over this article because it touched on something that I was going to ask early on. Is like, and I was going to kind of weigh it out to you guys, but I mean, it says, obviously in here that they aren't recasting; they're just writing her out. So, and that's interesting. Uh, to me, like I enjoyed her character. I think she added the dynamic of friendship to the. I mean, Mando didn't have that many friends to begin with. Thus far in the galaxy. Other than people who are a part of the Children of the Watch. Or meeting a few folks here and there, rather be like a mechanic or whatever. You know what I mean? He didn't have that many friends and R.I.P. Quill. But she was one of the friends, the very close friends. Her and Grief Karga. To Mando. So in that sense, yeah, I would say in the first season for sure, she definitely had like a heavier presence. Going into the second season, not so much. And I think after the way things were kind of left off with the second season, there was like potential there where you could see like they could have gone somewhere else with her character, but at the same time, it's like knowing everything that happened, with the actress Gina Carano, it was almost like with her character, I felt like the Mandalorian show it wouldn't be a devastating thing. This is my opinion. If her character if they didn't continue with it, it's like it wouldn't feel strange. You know what I mean? It's like imagine this: if you took Grogu completely out of the situation and we're like, yeah, we're never gonna see that character again, then I would be like, yo, that's I don't know about that. You know what I mean? Like I would feel like that would feel very strange to the essence of the show and like the continuity. You know what I mean? But with a character like Cara Dune, I feel like you could get away with it and it doesn't sting as bad. That's not me bashing the character or the actress, and yeah, I don't, agree with all of her political views. Do I think, yeah, she, of course, she seems, like a really talented and creative individual coming from her background, and of course, yeah, she's gorgeous, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I think Disney had to do what they had to do, and they made the right decision. But at least it seems to have ended on fairly good terms, where everyone seems to be moving forward. Kind of in a positive way. And Giancarlo Esposito, he's definitely right. You definitely have to watch what you say. That's just in life in general, man. Like there are certain things that are better kept in your head, you know, versus you know saying what you got to say and pouring your feelings out on social media. Sometimes it's better just to have a personal conversation with close friends or family members that are within your circle. You know what I mean? Versus turning to social media for those moments of getting something out there. But then again, being human, there are times where you can't help it, where you have to speak your mind and say how you feel. But in this case, and I like what he said, which I agree with. Hey, he's not saying he agrees with her political views, but again, as an actor, sometimes you got to learn to shut your mouth. But then there's sometimes where you can't. Um, so anyway, my opinion, the Mandalorian show is going to be fine without the character of Cara Dune. Will she be missed? Absolutely, absolutely. But I think there's still ways that you can make up for her absence without I mean, like bring in Harrison Dula. I've mentioned that several times before. So anyway, I'm rambling on. I want to hear from you guys. What did you think of this article? What do you think about Cara Dune's character? Is that a character that you guys would like to see kind of invested in maybe later in a different project, or do you guys think it's fine just to say, you know what? The way we ended in season 2, it's okay to kind of write her off. And how would you guys do it? Do you not acknowledge the character, or do you just write her off and like have her blown up on a planet. I don't know. Don't blow her up. That's mean. That's mean. But let me know what you guys would do. How would you guys write her character off? I'd be interested to know. So anyway, I'm with little information that we have on season 3. Anything I can get on the Mandalorian, I'm going to talk about it. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, give this video a like, and ring that bell for future notifications. And I will see you for the next video. Peace.